Illegal aliens are pulling down American flags at schools and at post offices. They're telling kids at school, you can't wear that Old Navy shirt. I'm offended by the American flag in San Francisco. They're running out on baseball fields. This just happened Friday, screaming, Mexico, Mexico. I've been to these illegal alien rallies, and they're wearing La Reconquista shirts, meaning they're reconquering in the U.S. Mexico's going down. You need to go home, pilgrim. They are the racist. And who I feel sorry for are great Hispanic Americans who are literally the bedrock of this country. Smart, hardworking, more Congressional Medal of Honor winners than any other group, Hispanic Americans, and also other people of Latin derivation who are not nationalistic against the U.S. I mean, it's Mexico. They lost 2 wars with us, and they're taught in Mexican schools that the Southwest belongs to them, and they are offended by the American flag and my Bill of Rights, and they pull the lever in the voting booth over 90% of the time to take my guns. And so, you know what? I'm against these illegal aliens that hate this country. And they hate this country 110%, and they can't hide those little Mexican flags at these government-sponsored rallies, and it makes me want to throw up. And I'm done being intimidated by this issue. I'm coming out against it, and so are the American people. But I feel sorry for Hispanic Americans when the media runs that hoax and says all Hispanics are for open borders, when every poll shows above 70% of Hispanics are against open borders because they're not stupid. They know Mexico's a hellhole. Why would these illegal aliens want to come up here and then run around with Mexican flags wanting to turn this into Mexico? Even if this was Mexico at one time, what is so good about it? Why are they fleeing Mexico? I mean, they need to make Mexico more like the United States, not more like Mexico. I mean, let me tell you something. If these illegal aliens weren't on welfare and didn't have the government using them as a political voting bloc for globalism, then I wouldn't have a problem. If they were a bunch of gun-toting, anti-New World Order people. But we can't afford it because of the welfare. We're going bankrupt. 95% of the, and this is a number you can pull up, 95% of the felony murder warrants in L.A. County are for illegal aliens. This place is wide open. They come up here and do whatever they want. Then they intimidate us. They use the goodwill of the American people to tell us to sit there and take it while they run around with Mexican flags chanting down with this country. I've had it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
I understand. I feel it too, Alex. And I just hope Governor Jan Brewer, maybe she could just bring up the whole history of NAFTA, all the way back to where Ross Perot was talking about it.
I hear you, John. I hear you, John. Listen, about 7 years ago, I was at the Capitol at an illegal alien rally because the illegal aliens had called me up at my office and said, you better not come down there. So I went down there. It was on the news. And a UT professor came over who was Hispanic, and then another white guy came over who knew what it said, but was a Hispanic guy, told me first. He said, Alex, you know what that green and yellow shirt means? And I said, no, I don't speak Spanish very well. And he said, well, the plan of San Diego is a plan to kill all white people. And I didn't believe it, and I went home and searched it, and I was at the University of Texas site. And then one of the Texas civil rights publications wrote a story about me saying, well, it's true, the plan is to kill all whites, but, Hispanics are downtrodden. Maybe it's good to kill all the gringos. I'm done. I'm white. My kids are white. Get used to it. Okay? I don't dislike you for what color you are. I care about, in fact, will you pull up Morgan Freeman from 60 Minutes? I meant to play this last week. Let's try to pull that up if we can. I'm with Morgan Freeman. He says, I don't want Black History Month. American history is Black history. I'm an American. I believe in what John Wayne said. I wouldn't care if the whole Congress was like Morgan Freeman and they were pro-gun. I wouldn't care if the whole Congress was Hispanic or black or purple or green or polka-dotted if you'd leave my private property alone and stop trying to run my life. Do we find the Morgan Freeman? Here's Morgan Freeman telling it like it is. But you want to run around saying you want my guns, you want my property, you want me to fly a stinking Mexican flag? Mexico's one of the worst countries in the world. It's in the top 5 CessPits. They got the richest, though. They got the most billionaires. Carlos Slim buying the biggest building in New York for himself privately. He's got a whole skyscraper just for himself, sucking off the Mexican people. They need to go down there and fix their country, not come up here and turn it into Mexico. Let's go ahead and play it.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month?
Well,
come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay. Which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh. Why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, devastatingly accurate. Multiculturalism is all about getting everybody at each other's throats. Diversity, when you hear it, is about the government poverty pimps, and they have handbooks on this. Margaret Sanger, 80 years ago, wrote books. We sent off to universities and got her letters to some of the wealthiest families, including the Rockefellers. And she said, I figured out how to kill these black weeds and these brown weeds. I figured out how we're going to get them. I've got it in my film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. She said, we're going to hire blacks, and we're going to have a liberal movement, and we're going to socialize things. We're going to give them welfare, and we're going to break up their families. We're going to pay the women not to have men in the home so that the state and the health department, which was set up by eugenicists, it's racial hygiene. The U.S. invented it with England. Hitler picked up on it. And we're going to kill these people. But we got to pose as liberals. You know, I'm against aborting Hispanic babies. See, I want there to be more brown people, more white people, more black people, more whatever people. I care about the content of your brain, your soul, what you stand for. But if you've got 30 million illegal aliens working for the New World Order, pushing globalization in the North American Union, and you want my guns and my private property, brother, you got an enemy in Alex Jones right now. 51% of black people since 1973 are never born in this country. 51%. And all the liberal NAACPs help promote the abortuaries in your town. They help promote the Planned Parenthood, and they sit there and get you all obsessed on some little racial issue or some little problem and act like they're your friends all day long. Hey, Mecha and La Raza, which means the race, La Raza, funded by the Fortune 500 big time. You ever hear one of those leaders get up and say they've got abortuaries in all the Hispanic areas? No. No. They're just going to use the illegal aliens to drive down the wages, help break down the country, and lower everybody's wages down, and then get you trusted them so they can murder your children. Oh, you'll go in and go along with it because it's a liberal, cute right you've got. And then that stupid, evil, white gringo Alex, you'll beat him. You'll get his property. You'll get his guns. But don't worry, those little Mexican babies are going to die. Stop killing your white babies. Stop killing your black babies. Stop killing your precious little Hispanic babies. They're all God's children. And stop taking over baseball games, running around with Mexican flags, screaming Mexico, Mexico. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop going to post offices and jerking down the American flag. The American flag isn't perfect. But you know what? It's better than anything else we got. And I'm for the Bill of Rights and Constitution. I'm going to defend this republic.